White Lotus, episode 7, the penultimate episode. What just happened? We have a lot to talk about. First, y'all know, leave in the comments what you thought about this episode. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm starting this episode off with a rant. Please do not let this be the full thing that happens between Rick and this guy. Please, it would be the most anticlimactic thing of all time. We finally get to this moment, and Rick's storyline this whole season has felt like a side quest already. So I'm expecting something gigantic here. We all were. We were expecting something huge, and this is all we get. If there's not more to this storyline in the finale, I will riot. I will riot. Now, this is a channel where I break things down. So I do think the writing supports what happened here, because this episode, a through line was this idea of, is violence and fighting part of, humanity, just innately there, right? And how in Buddhism, they don't believe in violence.
Buddhist scripture condemns violence in every form. Violence, aggression, anger stem from same source, fear. The only good faith response is to sit with your feelings. Violence does spiritual harm to victim and to perpetrator. Buddhists believe always non-violence.
There's this level of non-violence here, semi-violence. I mean, he pushes him over. And it goes with the themes. It does. Where Rick has been trying to be healed this whole season, and the unhealed version of himself would have just pew. But instead, it's a little progress, and he just knocks him over. So it makes sense writing-wise. It does. But that type of payoff, not satisfying. Not a satisfying payoff whatsoever. Now, what I am curious about is right here at the very end, where this was like the only time we really see him genuinely smirking or laughing, kind of just on his own. He has a smirk on his face, and I can't really show what happens right before this, but there's certain things on the table. There's women in the room. This is the most interesting part to me, because I want to know what this means for his character. Is his pain going to win out? Because we had this dialogue from Chelsea a little bit earlier.
Has this sadness really touches me. I want to heal him. It's like we're in this yin and yang battle, and I'm hope, and Rick is pain, and eventually one of us will win.
First of all, don't ever put it on yourself to heal somebody. Not going to happen. Secondly, we're going to see in the finale who wins out. Is it going to be Rick's pain, or is it going to be Chelsea's hope? We're going to see. It seems like Rick's pain is winning right now. Rick's pain even has his friend back drinking, not being sober. It rubbed off on him. But let's talk about Saxon, because Saxon has been the most surprising character to me these last 2 episodes. They're actually giving his character some depth, which is interesting to me. So let's go there.
These guys must know the only reason they have these hot girlfriends is because they're loaded.
It's going to be you in 30 years.
Why are you so mean to me?
I'm not trying to be mean, but that's what you give off.
And so in this episode, just like how Piper is kind of wanting to distance herself from the family, and we see that Lockie is too, so is Saxon. He wants to be outside of his dad's shadow, it seems, and it seems like he's also growing into wanting to be more than just his success. It seems to really be getting at him, like in this piece of dialogue.
And everything at work is going good, right?
Yeah.
No, Dad, I don't have anything else but this. I don't have any interests. I don't have any hobbies. Okay, if I'm not a success, then I'm nothing. And I can't handle being nothing. I put my whole life into this basket. Into your basket, Dad.
Man, so now Tim has heard from his wife and his son that losing their money, losing their status will just completely end them, and they won't have nothing. They won't want to live. Like, Tim's going through it. But what's interesting about Saxon here is he says this like he's nothing without his success, and he can't handle being nothing. What's interesting is he starts meditating with Chelsea at the end, and the idea of Buddhism and meditating is to empty out and be nothing, just be. So that's interesting. And he tells Chelsea he could be more than one thing. He's not just this one-dimensional person, but maybe he's wanting to not be one-dimensional, because at his core he does believe he's one-dimensional. He just said it. Then once again in this scene we get yet another uncomfortable scene. I mean, it's not a sex scene, but it's about sex. And it's just so interesting to me because at the beginning of the season, I really thought Saxon was going to be going this route, but he seems to actually not be about that life, and it's being pushed and forced onto him, which is just so interesting to me. I did not see the show going that direction. Then you had this moment here where Saxon actually was giving Chelsea everything that she wants from Rick as far as him being open and being vulnerable. Saxon actually got there in a way she's healing him instead of healing Rick, and she started feeling guilty because she was actually feeling something for him. While all this was going on, Rick is over here doing his shenanigans, smiling, enjoying life, partying. And I really wonder if he's going to be honest with Chelsea about what he was doing in Bangkok. I really do. I don't think he's going to. We're going to see, but I don't think, honestly, I think Chelsea might be the one that snaps and gets everybody in the hotel, because I feel like she's just been so, like she said, hopeful, so patient. She might crack, who knows? So Belinda went through her own version of violence in this episode, which was more psychological. You know, he was threatening her, bribing her, basically trying to pay her off because he doesn't want anything to, you know, happen with the whole Tanya situation. But I am so confused by Belinda's response to all this. Why does Belinda feel so strongly about Tanya and wanting to do right by her when Tanya did her so wrong? Right? Why does she feel like she owes her any type of allegiance? Like, I understand being cautious of Gary / Greg because what she thinks, well, I mean, what he did do to Tanya, what she thinks he did to Tanya. I get that 100%. Like, she doesn't want to associate with a person like that. But with the Tanya part, there seems to be this, like, I don't know, this pull to avenge or like protect her. And it's odd to me. And y'all leave this in the comments. Would you have taken that money? Y'all let me know in the comments. I feel like I would have took it, to be honest with you. I'm never going back to Thailand. I don't know Tanya. I don't care about this guy. I would have took it. I would have took it. Y'all leave in the comments. Let me know if you would have took it. It also got 100% confirmed who the thief was, which I had guessed. Actually, it was my wife that guessed it first, even before me. But let's talk about that. The trio of ladies and Guy Talk and Mook. Let's go with that whole storyline in this episode. Now, y'all tell me why in the world she would do this. She just takes an open drink and drinks it. This is the second time she did that. They gave her a shot last episode or 2 episodes ago, and she just drank it. I would never trust. No, don't do that. Always the closed beer. Always see when someone's pouring you a drink, people. No. So Guy Talk notices these people from the robbery, right? And I think, after his talk with Mook here, and Mook's like, violence is just part of humanity, right? I think he's contemplating like, man, am I going to step up and actually do something?
I just, I feel bad, but I guess, you don't, so.
How bad am I supposed to feel?
Don't get me wrong. The trio of ladies have always been, like I called it in that first episode with them being extremely passive aggressive and they actually don't like each other and all that. I honestly didn't think it was going to get like this. I really didn't. I didn't think it was going to get like this. Like Jacqueline had, it was almost a switch. It was a pretty jarring change in her character, actually, because it was these kind of like little jabs here and there, little awkward things. But then she just went full blown mean girl out of nowhere. And nothing even happened to her. It was like, she had, her husband didn't answer her phone call. And then after that, she just completely just shifted into like a whole nother character. I'm trying to decide if I like that or not. Like it just felt extremely jarring. But I liked this scene here because this is like a gender reversal of how they usually show this in movies and TV. It's usually the guy climbing out the window. So I thought this was like kind of an original take on it with her hopping out the window. Yeah. The scene was funny. This man said, "You got Zelle, PayPal, Cash App?" Yo, that was hilarious. Now, the last people we got to talk about here, Piper and Lockie. I'm not going to lie, y'all. In the back of my mind, I'm over here thinking, oh, we're about to have another Game of Thrones scene here. He's about to go from Saxon to Piper. I was terrified. I was worried. You could tell Piper is so turned off by the idea that Lockie wants to move to Thailand with her. Like, she's trying to get away from the family. And now he wants to stay. It seems like her dad is probably also going to want to stay. So the mom is going to get her wish and she's not going to want to stay in Thailand. But obviously they have like nothing to return to at home either. So I want to see how this whole family dynamic plays out in the finale because nothing is going right for anybody in the family. Now I am 100% worried about the finale. Like I told y'all in the last video, penultimate episode, most important episode of the season. To me, this was not a good penultimate episode. there wasn't a real build up for everything to come to a climax in the finale. So the finale has a ton of work to do to make a lot of these storylines worth sitting through and watching this whole entire season, especially with Rick. They're going to have to do something, because I hope it's delayed gratification, because the full circle moment can't be this man just pushing the guy in the chair. There's just no way. There's no way at all. Still got to find out how someone gets a gun in their hand. Still have to figure out what's going to happen with the family as far as if they're going back home, if they're staying. Maybe they're the ones that get shot up. I don't know. There's just a lot of work to do in the finale for the whole season to come together. It's like we're not just missing one piece of the puzzle for this show to feel satisfying. We're missing a lot of pieces to that puzzle. And I feel like the finale can still put all the pieces together, but it's going to just have to be one thing after the next in this finale. So, hey, till next week, I'll see y'all.